Darius explains that within this earthly construct, there exist 12 heavens or realms, flat planes stacked one atop another, forming a layered cosmic structure.
This one was not created by me. This is something that I found somewhere, just to give people an understanding too that there's 12 heavens. So you could say, let's just say the first heaven is down here, second, third, etc. So it's another way to view it, the planes. You could also say as well, this is another way to view it. Yeah, because it actually is sort of like this too, how you have the heaven, the earthly heaven, and the waters above separated from the waters, and you have the other different stations in heaven
When
throughout
you
this.
say we have the 13 heavens, what level are we on? What is this earthly level?
It's the what I consider what I used to call realm one, and that's not necessarily that it's wrong. I just changed the word to the first heaven because it's actually with information and more that I've been gathering, there actually are considered the 12 heavens. But if you go back and see originally the things that I talk about, I would just call this realm one, the earthly realm, and then realm two was the celestial bodies of galactic heaven. This is and then
Okay.
you get the yeah, but they're basically 12 heavens. And this is why I said the more that I access this information, it's just like, okay, well, why is it that the a lot of the things in the old texts are actually so true, you know? And it's quite amazing, when you look at it. And all of the stars are actually just like I said, stars are actually parts of portal access points. And what is water? Water holds information. It's also part of what space is, portal access points. And the ancient civilizations have known about this. This is why they've created these structures based off how the stars' frequencies were actually the stars' frequencies, the hertz. Because when you can mimic certain stars and frequencies, the hertz of those, you could bring that into the physical body as well. And this is where you get the healing of certain things within the body, etc., through these certain frequencies, which is also demonstrated through the plate experiment in sand.
The plate experiment shows how sound and vibration can shape matter. When a metal plate is vibrated, sand on it moves into beautiful geometric patterns. It proves that frequency isn't just something we hear, it's something that forms and organizes the physical world.
Which is exactly this. And the all the ancient civilizations have known this too. This is where you even get it here, because they've mapped out the certain frequencies and everything that will help the entirety of this. You could say the body and certain things too, because even they have technology too that disrupt this. They put it through music and it disrupts the natural flow of your cells expressing themselves in the way that they should be expressing themselves, and it's slightly off resonance.
The natural harmonics of Earth resonate at 432 Hz, a frequency that aligns with the rhythms of nature, the heartbeat of life itself. 432 Hz is said to promote healing, inner peace, and connection to the universe. It's what music should have been tuned to, a symphony with the cosmos. But they changed it. In 1953, they set a new global standard, 440 Hz. A subtle shift, just enough to make a world of difference. At 440 Hz, the music and sounds we consume are slightly dissonant with our natural frequencies. It agitates the mind, stresses the body, subtly eroding mental health, emotional balance, and spiritual clarity. And almost no one questioned it.
And because it's slightly off resonance, you get a lot of the distortions happening and manifesting within the body. No different than stress is a distortion, you could say, from love, because stress in and of itself will distort your frequency, your electromagnetic field of your body, so much so that it will actually kill you. That's not going to happen with love. I think this one is just another generated video too, to show you the other side and where you come from. And this is, I want to make this clear. This is where we all come from. We're going to return back to it, and you have the ability right now to see it as well. And if you choose to, return back to it. But I'm not giving people a ticket to suicide, and I don't endorse that at all. But there is a point of no return with this, just like there's a point of no return with every near-death experience.
Darius explains that many souls, during an out-of-body experience or an NDE, near-death experience, are offered the choice to stay on the other side. This doesn't mean he is endorsing the idea of leaving the physical world. It's simply a truth he feels must be shared. Sometimes when a soul steps outside of the human body, the presence on the other side asks if they want to remain there. It's an invitation, not a command. A moment of choice where some realize their journey on Earth isn't finished yet, and others feel the pull to return home. Darius shares this not to persuade, but to awaken a deeper understanding of the soul's freedom and the unseen conversations happening beyond the veil.
When you leave the body, understand this, that the will of your soul, when you are in that, nothing could stop you from what you want to do. The only thing that's ever going to stop you is you from accessing information once you're out of your body, and suppressing your ability and suppressing that which you could access as well. Even when you go into, what is space? How come all of the civilizations have known this? Why? Why is all this here? What did they depict? How did they know that we were going to build certain things now? Yeah, you could say because their true state and the things that they were using was to enhance their natural ability. They were able to teleport through the entirety of this construct. Not only that, they were able to access the true point, the true state of time, realizing that time is not just linear, seeing the potentials of things where they were going to be. Yeah. Not only that, as well as they were able to do telekinesis and all those things. All the things that you think are airy-fairy and mystical and just make-believe, this was the past. You could say magic or whatever, but it's not magic. It's just your true state, your true home. All of the different races that have always been here are still here, some of them anyways.
All of the races are still here. Where are they?
So this is where you go into, some of them are actually physically still here, like you could say in the land masses of what we have. A lot of the places that the USA and other countries are at war with is also part of some of the different races that are there too. Yeah, suppressing some of the giants that still exist. And I believe it's Iran too. Some of the races there, those are where some of the giants still exist in there, and you'll find a lot of the wars happening there as well. It's a war that's not just for the purpose of what you think that war is, and a lot of these races too are on the other land masses that is, you could say, beyond the poles. Yeah, so a lot of the other entities are beyond the poles too. But one coming out too, this was something that I found. I think this was I was trying to find something to illustrate the waters above. And this is something that I found. I believe this comes from a commercial too. And so it's not actually like this, but it is, because you end up hitting, when you come out, you end up hitting this. It's like you could feel a solidness to it, like the firmament, but your soul could pass right through it, and then you're entering this water, or and then from that water you're on what's considered another realm, or the second heaven, etc. Because it's sort of, I don't know exactly how that works in that way, but when you're out of your body and you pass through the waters above, you enter a different the other heavens, second, third, etc. And that's why I've showed it before, like layers, because that's another way to visualize it too. Even when you pierce past or you go past the other, you know, on the so instead of just going vertically up, you go horizontally as well. You're still accessing another form of heaven, but it's slightly off of frequency and tune. And when you think of that, you may think like ice wall here, ice wall there, but it's not necessarily like that. The best way that I could show you, when you end up passing through, let's just say if you're going horizontally and you go to the ice wall and you go beyond the ice wall as well, it's interesting because what happens is sort of what this scene in this movie, Narnia, has depicted. And this is the only thing that I could find that could best illustrate it. Because when you pass through the firmament and the waters beyond, the waters are acting as this portal passageway into the second heaven. And this is where you'll find beyond the ice walls too. You're going to get a lot of your what is considered your galactic races because that's the celestial heaven, the second heaven, and you're getting a lot of what the beings and craft, and a lot of these craft are consciousness craft. They're based off the consciousness and the soul as well, fusing with pieces of technology too. And this is what it's like when you pass through into other realms. Waters open up to you and you access the other heavens within this construct, total of 12. And so, and there's better things that I could have probably made to illustrate this. But let's just say when you are at the corner, at the end of this realm, beyond the ice wall, when you go to a certain point, you're going to hit that firmament and it is going to be displayed as water to you. And you could go past it and you could go in it. I don't know physically if they've had technology trying to pierce past it. This is where you get the Operation Fistbowl, and also even Admiral Byrd has access to it. I'm not sure how that actually happened, but when you go past a certain point, you will reach the water barrier firmament, and when you go into this portal, yeah, and you access the other heavens
There's
and the other
stories.
places.
Yeah, there's stories of people in Antarctica, secondhand stories, of course, where they got to the firmament, but it was frozen. It wasn't water. They were drilling through what they call sky ice, blue ice. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying before. Like I remember feeling too. Like there's like if you listen to what I've said in the maybe like 5 minutes ago, you do touch this physical barrier, but then when you're in your soul, you pass through that physical barrier, and then it's like you're going through this water like
Okay.
this. Yeah, and that's sort of what that's what it feels like.
Is the construct made to keep us contained for our
No,
experience?
no. So
No?
this is
Okay.
where this is where you go into the past. This is where you get the wars in heavens, in the war of man in the fall. So in the past, all of this was open. Like there wasn't necessarily an ice wall. It was lush, sort of what you see in this. Let's just say it wasn't like ice. It was just you reach a point, and then you get to the certain point in the entirety of this construct, and then you're able to pass through. And this is where all of the angels, the seraphims, what people call gods, the angelic races, the everything was here, and they were able to freely traverse into all of these places. They were freely able to traverse the entirety of this construct. They had even pyramids in the halls of Amente too. The pyramids actually, the pyramids and the portals open up through certain words, like I wrote this down too. This is something that I was told, and I'm not necessarily sure if I should even share this, but there are certain words as well that were used in the past, like is Shine Dune Theis was one of the words that were used to activate certain portals to basically walk into in the pyramids to then take you from, let's just say, America to Australia to another point within the entirety of this construct, another heaven. And this is where you find the 12 stargates. This is where you get the 12 stargates. Yeah. I'll share my screen again.
Okay.
But the 12 stargates are, you could say, the main portal points to access more realms within this place. And they've mapped out the certain frequencies like they've mapped out the stars. Um,
Is
let
that
me,
is that the
yep.
purpose of the pyramids all over the world? Are there portals or because
They were held based off of what I've seen and access so far. They were held as information as well, like information, energy devices. You could say energy devices.
okay?
But yeah, portal access points as well. And you'll see that through this.
Yeah.
Let me go back.
Were you shown how all of these things were built? Were they built by man or were they just created by souls?
Correct. It's not by man, no. So it's not like they were picking these structures up. It was the souls in and of themselves with the so say for instance, the galactic races, the ships that they use are consciousness ships. So even when you go back into a lot of the, let's just say the higher beings in their station, they would have a lot of staves. Why would they carry staves? And why would there be crystals on those staves? Because all this was to enhance their natural abilities physically. Yeah. So they were able to, like I said, not their bodies were the spacecrafts. They were able to take themselves into the entirety of everything, and they show this to you in movies and stuff like that to try to remind you. And people are like, oh, this is just entertainment, but it's not. Like the bodies were the ultimate piece of technology. You look at Project Looking Glass. What is Project Looking Glass? That's a piece of technology to look into time. You could say created by Tesla. Yeah. And this technology is created by metal, copper, crystal. Yeah. And if a piece of metal could access the future, if a piece of metal could do it, why do you not think that your body can do it? Your body is the ultimate form of technology. And it was that way in the past history. And you could say everybody was walking among this earthly realm as gods, in a sense, because your body is the ultimate technology. You could see potential futures even when you come out of your body as well. So the bodies were able to do this, and the certain things that they had were able to, and they were enhancing these abilities. And this was the creation of a lot of these structures too.